Okay, this is a little advanced class on how to create your own flights if you don't want to just load a saved flight, because you've got a lot of planes and a lot of airports around the world, a lot of weather conditions and different times of the day that you might want to fly. But for simplicity, let's go in and take a look. Now I'm going to have planes in here that you don't have because I'm making this at home. And you're not going to have these at the museum, but you can click on change aircraft and grab your little slider here and you can slide through different aircraft and see what aircraft you've got. But let's say, just for simplicity's sake, that we want to load up the Cessna 172, but we don't want to scroll through all the different aircraft to find it. You can click on aircraft manufacturer, click on Cessna, and it'll bring up just Cessnas, which makes it much simpler. But let's say we want a green one today. Oh, orange and black, that's good. Let's say it's Halloween. So we got our orange and black Cessna, and let's say we want to fly out of somewhere different. You can pick, if you know your airport code, like Topeka, KFOE, you can type in KFOE and see Topeka will show up down here. If you know the airport name, you can type it in here. Or if the city, let's say you wanted to fly out of Denver. Okay, type in Denver. See, you've got a selection of different, there's Denver International, but here's a lot of other smaller airports in Denver that you can fly out of. KAPA Centennial, I don't know what that is. Let's pick that one. Click OK. And let's see what we got for weather conditions. So your fair weather is pretty much the default. If you want cold fronts, how about gray and rainy? Major thunderstorm. You can click those as Orbix weather you won't have on yours, but see there's, let's say, building storms. You can also click down here on real world weather, and this will load up weather that's actually happening in Denver because we selected Denver as where we wanted to fly. So you can click on this and get the real world weather in Denver. So you can, there's a lot of options as far as weather that you can get. But let's just pick building storms, what the heck. And a lot of times I like to fly at dusk or at dawn because the lights are pretty. So you can click dawn up here, and it's local time, 5:32. Or at night, at dusk. You can pick the month, you can pick the season right here. So you can just pick whatever you want. It'll usually default to the current day. But let's say we want to take off at dawn. So we click on OK. So now we got our plane, our airport, building storms, and the time of day. Alright, click on Fly Now. Now it won't come up with this panel that you usually get down here because you're creating the flight. What we had before was saved flights that already had all this done for you. Now that panel that we normally have that loads up down in the bottom window is one that I created and have loaded on the Cessna and the Piper. I don't have it on all airplanes. So if you pick some planes and go and try and find that panel, it won't be there. I'll have to load it in different planes that you might want to fly. And as you can see, alright, now we're loaded up, setting on the airport in Denver, Centennial at dawn. Now the way you bring up the panel that I created is you go up here to Views, click on Views, move down to Instrument Panel, and as you move across, you see there's some different panels. Here's the autopilot panel that I created for the autopilot video. Basic panel is the one that you want to load. That's the one that we normally use. I've got a Randy's panel in there and it has all kinds of stuff, and you can play with that sometime if you like, just to check it out. But let's pull up basic panel. Now it's going to pull it up. See here in this window, small, distorted. What you want to do, and you can click on this and move it around, but to get it off of your top 3 screens and down to the 4th monitor, you have to put your cursor over it, click your right mouse button, and it brings up these options. Click on undock. Undock lets you move it off of your upper screens and down onto your lower monitor. You can set it right here, then go down in the corner. When you get this little double arrow, you can grab it and stretch it. Get it about the size you want. There, and let go and see. If you stretch it out and it's all distorted, oops, just move till you get this double arrow. Move it over to where it looks so the gauges look, you know, pretty round. And you've got it. Now you've got your panel. You've got your flight loaded up. And as you can see, you know, we can change the view. See what it looks like here in Denver Centennial. Now if you want your navigation, you know, your map program, you load it like you normally do. You go over and click your little gold airplane, which I'm not going to move over there, but that'll open up Plan G. Open it up, look up in the right hand corner, click on connect, and you can see that we're loaded up here in Denver at Centennial Airport. Don't forget to click on your flight simulator, your gauges menu, to get this back in focus. You can tell when you're not in focus, what they call in focus, because you'll lose your sound. Just click back here and now all your buttons work like they're supposed to. Alright, and that's how you load up a flight. If you want to go back and load up another flight, all you do is just go to Flights, End Flight. That takes you back to this window, and you can go in and pick another plane, another airport, change the weather. One thing you can do also when you're in a flight, and your computer won't take as long to load as this one, sorry about that, is there's a lot of options on the top of my, you see a panel's gone, that's because we went out, come back in, you'll have to go back up to views, instrument panel, basic panel, you know, go through undock, move it down here, you know, go through all this again. It's kind of a refresher. But you can also change your weather up here, and I'll go into some of these options in another video. So play around with it. Have fun.